Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we'll talk about a very fresh game that was played just yesterday. This is a competition called Jinzhong Cup, and I think it's a Chinese only, basically it's like a national level competition. So it's not international, it's only Chinese players in this competition. And something extraordinary happened, so we'll get into the game and we'll get to that. The players they're both world champions and both last names is Yang. And then the black player is Yang Kaiwen. I just talked about one of his game recently. And the other person is Yang Dingxin. And if you have been watching Go videos a lot, you probably know him. He's a very strong 9P world champion in China, and he had some issues back then with Li Xuanhao, where he was accusing him of cheating. But of course, he had no proof, so that caused some controversies back then. So Yang Kaiwen's playing as black, and he starts out by directly going to the 3-3, which is okay because the two corners are Miai. White blocks, black crawls, and white extend. Black plays the small knight. White takes the corner, and black takes the remaining corner. So everything is normal at this point. White approaches, usually we would answer this approach because we don't really want white to press us. But I guess what black was thinking is that it doesn't really matter if white presses black because he already has a stone waiting for white to build a moyo over here. So this stone can destroy it. And therefore black placed the big knight, and we have the attach going on. So I talked about this attach not a very long time ago, but maybe a month and a half ago. And it's quite common these days to play the attach. So they play out the inner honey variation, and this is pretty much the most common, simple, and actually great. I think it's actually great for both players, this variation. It's so simple to understand. Here white plays the honey. I personally would have just continued the Joseki because this move not only settles my 4 stones over here, but also connect with the 3 stones over here, and therefore this becomes my moyo. So I would have played this move. Of course, this move is great, but what Yang Dingxin played in the game was also not bad because that's a sente against the corner. White attaches and black chooses a Joseki where he got split into halves. That's a valid variation. Okay, so now black extends out and completely break any potential for white to develop. And white plays the jump here. This would be the first mistake of the game, and this is a very I think this is a very simple mistake. It's clearly a directional mistake. The reason you don't want to play this move is, first of all, this move would have been great if you are threatening the life and death of black over here. But here black can just not answer it. That's totally fine, because there's no life and death problems. When white Ataris, we take. When white plays the Atari over here, then we can extend into the corner, right? So just locally, there's no life and death problems for black. That's the point I'm trying to make. Of course, my moves are not very precise. At this point, black's probably going to crawl once, forcing white to extend and then extend in the corner. So in this case, white's turn is going to be a gote. But here's my point, right? If you are playing this move, but not really threatening the life and death, then that purpose is not there. So what is your other purpose of this move? Well, you're probably trying to build the moyo over here, but as we can see, clearly this is not a great place to build a moyo. This is pretty much a desert because black has a stone over here, and it can crawl to break your territory. And then it has another stone over here, and then it can also extend to break your moyo. So even if they're world champions, as we can see, Go is a very tough game. And a lot of times, even in a tournament like this, you could just play a mistake like that. It's a clear directional mistake by Yang Dingxin. So the correct move, obviously, as many of my viewers would have guessed, is to connect over here, right? So not only we're building the top side, but also we're reinforcing our approaching stone, strengthening it so it puts more pressure on black's corner. In the actual game, white jumps and black decides to push, white extends, and now black plays the turn over here. So this would also be a directional mistake, and it's a similar mistake, just like what white played over here. So this move, of course, is a very big move, but in terms of direction, a way better move is for black to simply play here. As we can see, it puts pressure on white, it prevents white from building a moyo, and it also reinforces the fight over here. So this move has so many purposes. And the corner is okay, right? Like, I think both players are looking at the corner and they're like, oh, well, I don't really want white to get this. And then the Atari here, and then, and then you're going to crawl here, and then you have to extend in the corner. Maybe black did not want to live like this, but the suffering over here is worth it if you can get a big move like this on the outside. And this suffering isn't really that bad because, as we can see, black still has to push and cut. That's very serious. So probably white has to respond in some sort of way to mitigate the cutting point. So in the actual game, black was worried that his corner will be bullied, and therefore he played the turn over here. And of course, we can see not only this is a second line move, it doesn't really do much because white wasn't planning to build here anyway. So it's a similar directional mistake than what white made. White now jumps. Black now plays the splitting move. White plays the 2-space extension. Not only strengthens the stone over here, but puts an attack on black. Black plays the shape move. That's a very nice move. And white caps on top. So this not only attacks black's group, but also prevents the push and cut that black has over here. Black jumps out, and now white plays the Kema to press black. Black plays out the Joseki, and white peeps. Black blocks on top, white blocks. Here, if black connects, then white is going to extend on the second line. When black blocks, white is going to Hane. When black cuts, white has a Tsuji, that is to clamp the stones back. So the result of this is actually okay for black. It doesn't look like so, right? Like, because black stones are dead. But then, as we can see, first of all, this extension is a sente because there's a wedge over here. So white has to fix that. And then, because this extension is a sente, it means that white pretty much doesn't have any ice space. So when black plays over here, white is under a lot of pressure. But after this exchange, black also has this type of aji going on. So making use of white's shortage of liberty and playing these Hane moves to annoy white. And that's actually the AI recommendation. But of course, in the actual game, Yang Kaiwen was worried about that variation where all the 3 stones will be captured. And therefore, he decided to play this move to... he's planning to sacrifice like the stuff over here, but he's going to try to maximize the damage against white's group. White Hanes, black plays the Hane, and now white plays a Kosumi. That's a Tsuji to kill the 2 stones over here, and that's the cleanest way and the best shaped way because it leaves a beautiful tiger's mouth over here. Black Atari's getting rid of white's ice space. And this move is a very beautiful move that fixes white's own shape and also aiming at dragging the stone out and causing shape problems for black. Next up, we have black playing a extension move at 3-3. So this is a move that we should learn from, but in the meantime also criticize. Locally, this is an excellent move. It is a shape move, right? Whenever you encounter a shape like this, you should play just like what black did over here if you want to fix all the problems in a corner, because the cleanest way to fix everything, every weaknesses you have, but in the meantime, you're not exchanging moves with white to make white's shape better. A lot of times, my viewers might play this kick to try to gain more. It seems that you're gaining more in the corner and also putting pressure on white, but this is actually a double-edged sword because white can Hane, and after you respond, white's going to get a very comfortable Atari, forcing you to connect. Yes, locally, black is fine in the corner, but white is also a lot stronger thanks to these exchanges. And therefore, we can see the difference. When black plays the 3-3 extension, then white doesn't really have all the chances to make those exchanges, and white's shape is very weak. Later on, we can look at Potentially, we can look at this Kosumi here. It's very annoying for white. We can also look at this attach over here. It's also a very interesting continuation. So white is in a very awkward spot where if white runs out fast, then he has to worry about the weaknesses. But he spent a move to fix the weaknesses, then it's way too slow. So it's a very awkward situation for white locally. But as I said, this is also a move that we should criticize because globally, this is not a great move. A better move is probably for black to play something like this. Of course, this is a hard move to find, especially for amateur level players. But the idea is to try to control white from getting the stone out. It's a very efficient way that gets black out, but also putting a little control over this rebellion over here. But if you want to look for simplicity, a slightly worse move, but still a good directional move, is for you to simply capture white over here. This is a great move because instantly black is safe after this move. There's no shape problems. Black is thick and black is aiming at white's weaknesses. So this would have been a better move than what black played. This is great for territory, but now white has the chance to pull the stone out. This is not what white has played in the game, which is a mistake, but this is what white should have played in the game. Against this move, black has to fix the cutting point on top first. White Hane, Absolute Sente. And here, I want to leave you an exercise. You can pause the video and think about what you want to play as white here. This is a very important middle game exercise. Okay, so the correct move for white to play here is actually to squeeze on the third line. This seems like a really small move. Like, why would you play something like that? Why won't you like just get out? Well, the reason is because this move is about the mutual ice space for both groups. So this black group is not alive and white is obviously not alive either. And therefore, any move that can enhance your ice space and hurt your opponent's ice space, while in the meantime strengthen your shape, you should play it in the middle game. So the security is very important in the middle game. When black connects, white will keep reinforcing the shape. And now as we can see, when black gets out and we play the Kema, white, you can see that this is very comfortable for white. You don't have to worry too much about your group's safety because you already have an eye over here. So you're relatively secure. And the reason you're relatively secure is later on you have this push and clamp to gain more ice space. When black connects, which is the best move, then you have moves like this or even like this to increase your ice space and instantly make a life. So you never have to worry about this group anymore. And when you never have to worry about a weak group anymore, you can do whatever you want on the board. You can start an attack, you can take territory without worrying about anything. So it's very important in the middle game to worry, to take care of your securities. So if white plays like this, black connects, and we have this, here probably black's not going to jump out. Black's going to probably play some moves that enhance black's ice space and also looking at breaking white's ice space. So I don't know at this point. I haven't checked with AI, but I think at this point, this would be a slightly leading game for white. And the reason white should be leading here is because of black's turn over here. The turn that black played previously over here, it was just not the right direction. Okay, that's not what Yang Dingxin has played in the game. This is a great chance for Yang Dingxin to establish an advantage in this game. In the actual game, Yang Dingxin decided to play a Kosumi over here, which is a very passive and soft move. And after black captures, all of a sudden the game is close to equal instead of white leading. And the reason, once again, it's the exact same reason. Black is very secure after this capture. We can see there's an eye over here. And then black has obviously some ice space over here. And this empty triangle would build another eye. So black is very safe, but white is not completely alive. Even if white has some beautiful shapes over here, you're not alive, and at the end of the day, being alive is what matters. See, now white has to spend extra moves to deal with the group. And now black, because black is safe, black is saving a move over here. This move doesn't really have much value in this case, and instead black invests that move into something very valuable. White blocks, and then they play out the double Hane Joseki, where black is forced to take the Panuki and white captures the corner. And here black plays another directional mistake. So I think both players, I don't think, I mean, they're probably not in a great state right now. You know, just a lot of directional mistake in the early game. This is also not such a great move. I mean, they're much better players than me, but if I can spot an obvious directional mistake, then that just shows you that they're probably not, it's probably not their best day today. The reason this is not a great move is because black is already alive here. So running a group that is already alive, it's not very efficient. Here, I think I should leave this as an exercise once again for my viewers, because this is a very interesting middle game, and I think you can learn a lot from this middle game. What would you play as black here? If you know, if you were playing as black, like, what are some of the ideas that would come to your mind? Okay, so I'll just reveal the answer, right? Like, and I think when I play it, you'll feel like this is kind of obvious, right? The move is for you to simply play on the bottom, right? Because your group on top is alive, and white is not going to be under any danger anytime soon, because this group, like, white invests a lot of moves to fix this group. So when you don't know what to do in the middle game, when your groups are alive, and when your opponent's group is kind of settled, right, there's no problem over here. These three guys are not, like, well, they could be under attack, but they can easily deal with the attack. So black cannot rush to really attack it. Therefore, well, why not just take more territory, right? That would be an excellent move, right? This is looking at next move. Black is looking at these big knight to even take more territory. But if white responded this is already a great exchange for black, because there's not much territory over here. Even if black just kicks and you extend, later on, black has this kind of stuff to break into your territory. So this would leave a very awkward situation for white, right? Because white doesn't really have an extension spot. Like, if you extend like this, then that is way too small. So at this point, it would be a little awkward for white to play, right? Because black already took the very big move on the board, and it's probably the only very big move on the board at this point. In the actual game, black plays like this. It does have value because it adds more pressure onto white's group. But of course, white is not scared of that because white has so many moves already. And therefore, white plays a very nice move. This is a great move. It's looking at the extension over here, but also the next move, white's going to play a small knight to pressure black over here. In the actual game, black responds. Here, probably the best move is still for black to take this big move away from white and to suppress white's influence over here. If white plays the attacking move, here black has a very famous Tsuji, right? If you haven't seen it, you can learn it right now. Because when black attaches, white extend, we can clamp, right? We don't really want to play like this because this leads to some complications where white can get out. Or even sometimes white can cut over here and you don't really want this. So we can just clamp when white keeps extending, and then we can capture white. And now white is captured, so white cannot play like this. So pretty much white has to either play something like this, letting black connect, and therefore black is in black's group is fine. So that's a Tsuji to get black out. In the actual game, black played another inaccurate move to try to save the group over here. Of course, it's a big move, but then when white extend over here, this would be a lot. But white also did not play the extension, so I feel like both players are just not so keen in terms of the direction of play. Black hops out, white attaches on the third line, black pushes and connect to fix the weakness. White jumps out, and black now push, threatening to connect through here and claim lots of territory. Of course, white has a Tsuji to prevent that from happening. If black pushes, we have a very beautiful tiger's mouth. So that's a very nice move that connects white. Black now plays the Kosumi to protect the group over here. So what black was worried about, if you take a move on the outside, black was worried about this very nice shape move. This extension looks like a knife stabbing into black's shape. You can see black is broken into pieces. So Yang Kaiwen was very worried about this move, so he takes it instead. White pushes, black pushes through, and now white pushes, trying to disconnect the group. Black extends, that's a sente, and then black blocks. White cuts, black connects, and white Ataris on top. This is looking at the capture over here. Black now Ataris, and in a crazy manner, this is the last move of the game. At this point, Yang Dingxin basically forfeited the game. He didn't, well, you can't really call that a resign. He just said, like, I can't play anymore. I am sick. I'm feeling super sick, and I just can't continue the game. And therefore, Yang Kaiwen won the game. And I can tell you the win rate for white right now, it's 95%. So this is a leading game for white. Well, it's still unclear, right? Like, there's still a lot of moves to be played, but this is a leading game for white. But unfortunately, Yang Dingxin had to forfeit this game because he was feeling very sick. I don't know exactly, like, they didn't report exactly how he felt. I think the only thing they said was that he was feeling like heart rate accelerating, and also like vomiting and stuff. So that was super weird because these professional players usually take these games very seriously, and if they just feel like a little bit uncomfortable, there's no way they would abandon the games. But I think in this case, it was so serious that someone like Yang Dingxin, a world champion who played so many tough games, decided to, like, just say, I can't, and I have to go. So what happened next was that they basically consulted with some doctors who are at the place, and they weren't able to figure it out, what happened to Yang Dingxin. So he basically went back to his room and took some rest. And then after several minutes, he was able to basically text. So they have this platform, almost like the Facebook of China, that's called Weibo, and he was just texting saying that he's feeling better, but he had to forfeit the games. Well, by that point, he already did that. So this game was won by Yang Kaiwen, and this is the round of 64, which means Yang Dingxin has been eliminated. So at the time, when I was watching another commentator, that's the information I got. But then later on, of course, I was researching again to see if there's any updates, and it turns out that there are some updates. I'm going to show you that right now. This is a message that was sent out by the Chinese Go Association. So I'm just going to briefly translate and summarize the message. But basically, the Chinese Go Association is saying that several professional Go players in the Jinzhong professional tournament were experiencing symptoms of vomiting and diarrhea. So, of course, then they sent doctors try to figure out what is going on, and they found out that they had the Norovirus. But so basically, the reason these players are experiencing vomiting and diarrhea is because they caught Norovirus, which is the virus that causes, like, stomach flu and stuff like that. So it looks like it's some sort of food poisoning or water poisoning or some sort of, like, infection of Norovirus. And what's going to happen to this tournament is that they're going to choose an appropriate date in the future. So it's not going to be, at the beginning they said, oh, we're going to just do it tomorrow when people feel better. But actually right now they're saying, okay, maybe it's more serious. We got to make sure we disinfect things, and then we're going to choose a future date for this matches to continue. So that's the whole message. Looks like it's just like they were probably in a hotel or something where the management was so bad that they got infected with, like, norovirus, some nasty stuff like that. Well, that's the first time in my life that I played Go for 20 years in my life that I see a professional player having to stop the game on the 90th move because of some sort of norovirus. Kind of crazy because I know how serious these players take these games. They're not like us. They do this for a living. So kind of crazy, and I kind of feel like this is not fair for Yang Dingxin because he has a leading game, and also the fact that he couldn't continue because some Norovirus is not his fault at all. And I think that's definitely very disappointing for him. But unfortunately, I don't think the Chinese Go Association is gonna let them rematch, and therefore Yang Dingxin is just eliminated because of it. So kind of crazy stuff. Let me know in the comment section what you think about it. And this is all what I have for you today. It's a fresh game, so my analysis is kind of like, well, it's kind of fresh as well. So if I make a mistake, you can point it out in the comment section as well. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next one.